Hello and welcome to the TOA 16 studio. My name is Derek Marseille, head of media at totem.co, and I'm here with Katie Dill. She is the director of experience design at Airbnb. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you.
So you held a talk here at TOA. What was it about?
It was about designing experiences when you don't own all the moments of the end user's journey. Because when you're trying to design a great experience, you want all those moments to work well together and try to bring together a kind of coherent whole. But when your community, as in Airbnb's case, our hosts are the one that are delivering the end user experience, we don't have necessarily direct control over that. So the idea is, how can you help provide for the hosts and influence and help them deliver a great user experience so that the end user's journey is delightful every time?
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a new approach, isn't it? Or is it? Does it have similarities with other kinds of community management in the past?
Absolutely. I think we've been lucky that user experience has been a topic of conversation now for probably about 10 years. Maybe late, but at least people are talking about it now. Oftentimes when people think about user experience design, they're thinking about that one moment, the moment of consumption. After you've already bought it, what is it like to use it? Oftentimes what they forget is that the moment prior to purchase or even after purchase, when something goes wrong or when somebody's talking about it with friends, those are all moments of the user experience. And so you really do need to think about all of them together, the coherent whole or the gestalt of how those little pieces come together. And when you're considering that and you're thinking about that as one whole, designing each one of those so that they build on each other and are delivering a better experience is something that a lot of people aren't thinking about. For Airbnb, we definitely have to think about the fact that we're not, employees are not the ones that are delivering the end user experience, but other companies need to think about that too. Even a florist, it's the person that bought the flowers that's giving them to somebody else that's delivering the end user experience, not the florist themselves. So they have to think about how they can support that person in doing it really well, and so that feels great for everybody involved.
So how did you define the challenge? What is the problem that you are focusing on in going for this approach?
Well, the challenge is to provide for our guests, our hosts, all the people that are using the platform and make sure that they have a great experience. And when we look at what is that journey that they go on, we can find certain moments where there could be a problem. So for example, one of the things that I talked about in my talk was that the moment that a guest arrives at the host's home is the moment of truth, right? And they knock on the door and they open it up, and is it what they expected? And if it's not, their expectations could be unequal to the reality and be disappointing. Sometimes it exceeds expectations, but if you were expecting Wi-Fi and a king bed and that's not there, that's a problem. And so what we need to think about is, what can we do as the product designers and the service designers behind the scenes so that when you show up as a guest, it's what you expected. And so we think about that every day.
Yeah. So lots of offline actually moments where you as an online company are not involved.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how does this now then reflect the product of Airbnb?
Yeah, well, and it is in the product as well as the team. For example, when we bring designers onto the team, we're looking for people that can help us think beyond the screen, because it's not just the pixels that we're designing, it's that end user experience that we're trying to facilitate. And so we, in our team, are constantly trying to think about what that offline world is like, and we do a lot of research, and we go out and meet with hosts and guests. We are hosts and guests ourselves to try to understand it a little bit better. And then the product itself, what we do there is we try to, one, make sure that the content, the pictures of the homes, the pictures of the people, the descriptions of the things are the most visible and most prominent part of the website, so that you can really understand the place before you go and see it. We also are trying to make sure that our platform is where you are when you need it. So our mobile app is critical. We need to be thinking mobile first, because that's where our hosts and guests are as they're out and about and they're traveling. We have to think about, how do you actually get your way around a new place that you've never been to before? So how can we help you do that through our app and through the connections with our hosts and guests?
Yeah, and I mean, in detail, what does it in the end mean? What kind of choices do you have to make?
Well, some of the choices that we have to make are thinking about, the context of the use. So, for example, you might be traveling across the world and you might not have Wi-Fi access. So, how can we make sure that you have the information that you need when you need it before you're, unconnected? So, we email you prior to your trip. So, here's the information that you might need about where you're going. So, little details like that about thinking about the journey and where you might be and how you get in touch with somebody is a really big, important part of it.
Yeah. So you also talked about the team. This is an interdisciplinary festival, not only tech people, but all kinds of So is this also important for you in your team to be leading a team that is not only about tech, but is also about other areas of expertise?
Absolutely. I mean, your team should reflect the users that you're serving, right? And we're in 192 countries around the world, and there's just so much variety that's happening on the platform, and people that are speaking all sorts of different languages and have different backgrounds, and we want our team to reflect that as well. And our team is absolutely comprised of designers in our experience design team, but these designers all have a variety of backgrounds. My background is in industrial physical product design, and some of the folks on our team were ballerinas or worked in media before, or woodworking or a pilot. These different people bring different perspectives to the experience, and then the way we work is alongside different disciplines like product and engineering and marketing, and talking to the environment designers that design physical spaces. Getting that broader perspective, I think, help us make a better end user design.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us here at TOA 16.